Okay, then another concern. There always seems to be more than two aspects to anything. And for instance, in this world in which we live, we can say in some cases there are some inner and outer aspects of anything. You have the superficial and the deep. You have uh, let's say the top and the bottom. So what can you say about the outer and the inner aspects of the East? The superficial and the deeper aspects of the Eastness life is. So can we have some kind of clue as to how you can dissect this?
Well, I've given hints, but here's the idea. Okay, so we all go, let's say we all go to school, which we do. We went through high school, we go to college, etc. So we all go through the same process. We're all going through creation, right? We're all going through the same process. And so at a certain point, each one of us decides something, don't we? We really do. We decide this, we decide that. Just like when we were in school, as we're going through it, and then once we finish high school, we decide to go on to college or supposedly a career, or we decide to join the military, or we decide to do nothing. We decide to just get a backpack and take off and walk down the road. You know, each person decides whatever they will. And so with this, each person is going to decide how they're going to figure this out, just like they've figured their life out. So all I can do is present it to a certain point, and then from there, each person decides how they're going to figure it out. See, again, what are you dealing with in Africa as one example, but it's everybody, and that is that many people come to this thinking that, oh, it's already figured out for me. All I have to do is read the books and do the new you, and everything is fine, and I'll get a new job, and my life will be better, and all this. See, this is what they're figuring. They're not really figuring that they got to figure it out. And I remember Val at a certain point, you know, one of the Skypes, he goes, oh, I got to do this. I got to figure this out. You see, yeah, we're no longer in the membership days where you just pay the membership and it's all figured out for you. Just like the government, what it does is that, hey, you don't have to think anymore. We'll do your thinking for you. But guess what? You stay one-dimensional because you agree to that. Well, in the new presentation, this is where people get frustrated because, again, they can't quite figure it out because they don't take the time to do that. Until you do, you won't figure it out because it's way more than you can even consider. You know, prior to 2001, at the time it was called the Rod of Power, when the boys gave me that, Rebazar gave me all the initiations up to the 14th circle on the real side. And they were the real initiations because I could see the is. I took the time to see it. That doesn't mean I see the whole is because it's endless, but I saw enough, okay, to start to when I knew it exactly. I had seen the signs too that I was to present the is. So when that moment came, I knew what I had to do, but I was still learning, and that is present the is. And then in '07, it became the all is. And then just a few years ago, I added the 3 letters. Okay, it became its own position. This relates to something. Now, this is just a symbology. But the thing is that with the new presentation, no, we aren't the same routine. This is why I like the new presentation and the idea that I created, because it is not a category. People are still looking to categories. For that category, you might say, to tell them what to do where it's all figured out. No, this is where you got to figure it out. You got to step up and take the risk. Ask Kelsey, ask Val, Henry, and some of the others that are doing it. hey, there's no conclusion to this. You got to just step forward and you just do what you do. And it's always taking the risk to where, no, we don't have a plan, but we do have a real purpose, which is even better than a career. But you got to learn to see it. And it's all with your intent, and to recognize that too. And that's one of the things, as I took the real position, I recognize that people don't have any idea what their intent is. And that's aligned to your real awareness. And yeah, you got a lot to figure out. And at the meantime, survive in creation and what's going on here. And at the same time, will you step up and do something real to present this and take the risk to do it? There's a lot. See, life is all of a sudden a whole lot bigger. This is why there's only, 20, 25 of us on the Skype, because the billions of people out there, they don't want to take the time to see more than what they already know. Yeah, so life's a lot bigger, isn't it? Just got a lot bigger since the membership, didn't
it? Yeah, Duane. Okay. Yeah, there's a phenomenon that I've noticed here in this eastern side of the world where I am. I read the other day how the Chinese authorities have been pulling down crosses on church buildings, closing down some churches, shaving long beards considered religious symbols of extremism, changing dress codes for Muslims, closing some halal restaurants, or asking that they put their signboards in Chinese. And there's also appointment of their own state appointment of bishops and cardinals in state-approved Catholic diocese churches. When I looked at this, I just thought it would seem that the communist regime has seen through the idiocy of these religions, and that this is the very thing that the new students and the new supporters, they decry. So I was asking myself, has the new presentation found an unlikely ally in the Chinese communist regime that is decrying the stupidity that governs some religions? Duane?
Well, again, you have an action of government here, don't we? Break it down very simply. You have an action of government. Isn't that what that is?
Yeah.
It's an action of authority, isn't it? So, but it looks good, doesn't it? To us, it looks like, oh, this is really cool, etc. Or, people are growing rainforests. Oh, this is really cool. Do they recognize the is? No, that's a huge journey, but they're doing something. Yeah. So is it a step in the right direction? Again, that's their choice. So let's see what happens. But still, they're the authority, aren't they? Even when they do something that pleases the people, but then again, we know what government does overall, and that is deceives others. That's why we have government, because it's all deception. Do we need government? Do we need to fill out tax forms? Do we need politics? Do we need religions? Look at the birds. There's a comparison. They don't need it. They're doing fine. They get to fly around, do whatever they want. Us, with authorities, we have nothing but restrictions. So again, this action may look a particular, okay? But is it really what we're doing? No, it's an action taken by authorities. Even the Kalam God will answer the prayers of people and bring them a Christmas present, but it's all deception, isn't it? It's still in one-dimensional creation. So is it really what it appears to be? Yeah, it can be a better situation, or they can give housing to people free or whatever, but still it's restriction, isn't it? So really, what is it? So no, I don't see anything aligning with us, because it's each person coming up and they have to prove themselves. They really do. Not to me. they have to stand up to what life is and prove themselves. And to do that, that is huge, isn't it? And so again, this all becomes very interesting in creation because we're in the world of appearances. The old idea was Maya. Well, we know it's illusion, but at the same time, we need this secondary reality to relate to, because the whole of life is completely invisible. So their action there, again, that's action by authority. What does that tell you? So when the politicians get on TV and they say, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to clean up the suburbs here, we're going to give money to the poor, and we're going to take all the homeless off the street, people are just jumping up, down, thinking, oh, government is really a good thing. We need it, and thank you, government. Is it really that? Is there something behind that? Again, government was created as a deception, not as a benefit. So whatever they're doing, there's something else going on, isn't there? That's how I see it, until they can prove differently. So I don't think that they're the bad guys. It's like, let's see how far they'll go to prove it. We dealt with the Queen of Orion, all right? She looked cool at first. She displayed this, etc. But the end result is 100% arrogance when she was scanned, because that's what she was hiding. And eventually it showed up. So again, if you really want to see what's really going on, again, ask Paul and Rebazar to show you on the real side. They will show you what's behind the curtain, that it may look good out here, but really what is really going on. You know, Harry looks good on stage too. Well, what's he doing? He's taplining everybody in the background because he loves Joni. Things aren't as they appear, are they? But then again, I'm not saying I'm right.
Okay, Duane, I think you've delineated it very clearly. The actions here by a secular authority, they have no real intent and real purpose. It's only about control. Yeah, they don't want, they look at this as, they look at religion as maybe religious freedom as something that will make people become more aware or something like that. But, and so they want to shield them from these influences or something like that. And the wonderful worldwide educators, we don't restrict anybody. We let everyone do what they want to do, but we present, we make our presentation and let them choose whether to become more aware or to remain dumbed down. So that is the difference. It would seem that the authorities here are really shielding the people from contamination, the contamination of religion and whatever spiritual things. But their real intent is control, which we don't have. So thank you for making that distinction.
Let me add something to this, and that is that, yes, we personally become self-convinced immediately. That's the comfort zone of the personal self. Also, the idea was here in the United States a while back, it was presented, and you know, it's just what it really is, I saw it as a reactionary poll, you might say, a survey, and that is, the idea was going to be to take the "In God We Trust" label off the money. And you know how many people reacted to that? Now, do you think that they have genuine motivations to do that? Or is it that they wanted to jerk people off to react and agree to the fact that, no, we don't want you to do that. We want the "In God We Trust" idea on the money. We feel better with that. Well, by the very fact that they created that idea to get people to react, they got more agreement, didn't they, to their authority?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
See how subtle it is? And so
Very subtle.
to some people that, let's say they're atheists as an example, I'll just, pull something out of the air. Oh, they're thinking, oh, this is great. This is great. They reacted too. Oh, this is a good thing. The government is good. They're going to do a good thing. Well, the religious people, they're saying, no, it's not a good thing. We don't want this. We're going to protest. Well, by the very fact that they got them all huffy and emotional about it, oh, they tap line them more, they suck up more dry, and they got their agreement to be tap line, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. See, they create these issues that are all baloney in the first place. Again, do the birds have money? It's all about control, isn't it? And so, yes, we utilize the system. We're utilizing the system too. But what we're doing, and we utilize money, we use the credit cards, whatever. I do too. Yeah, we do that. But it's not about that, is it? It's to relate to people and what they're relating to. And then if they're interested, gradually bringing them through a real education to where they can see more. And yes, everything is workable, and it just depends upon how it's utilized. But what do the governments do and the authorities? They create the rules and regulations. They print the money and they distribute it and go, here, have fun spending the money. Then they regulate it and tell you how to spend it or how much they want of it, because really secretly, as you go out and earn the money, you're using your personal labor to gain that money. So when they tax you, they are taxing your labor. They are stealing your labor that you've worked for to provide for your family or your survival here. So this is how they restrict you and control you. So it all really comes back to that, isn't it? So then they devise all these other little cute ideas. And one of them can be that, oh, you know what? Let's do this today, everybody. So they get in their little evil council and they talk about, well, let's just tear down the crosses and let's see how people react. And wasn't it just a while ago that all of a sudden, gee, the House of Notre Dame or whatever, that cathedral caught fire? Look at all the reaction to that. They do all these things to get reaction, and by the very fact they get reaction, good, bad, or indifferent, they have agreement. It locks people into being tap line and agreeable. Again, whatever comes from the authority, unless the intent is there, which I don't see it, they got to prove it. Otherwise, it's all about control. It's all about tap lining. It doesn't matter what they do, how good they are, how many babies they kiss, what's their real intent. That's what you look at.
Thank you, Duane.